Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike Flyknit Lunar 3 running shoes. Now inside the box, as you guys can see, all you get are the shoes themselves, no extras whatsoever. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at this Flyknit running model from Nike. Now I realize I don't feature running shoes on the channel all that often, but every once in a while I like to show the main flagship models from some of the big brands that I think are good options as off the field trainers, because it's just as important to train off the field as it is to train on the field. So this is the latest Flyknit Lunar 3 from Nike, and the reason why I'm bringing these to you guys is because the Flyknit Lunar 2 was actually the one running shoe that I think I wore more often than any other model over the last year or so. I was a huge fan of that shoe, and especially considering that how Flyknit has become so prevalent in the soccer market with, of course, the release of the Nike Magista Obra as well as the Superfly 4, I figured that this would be a running model that enough of you guys would be interested in. Now this shoe just launched. It's available in about 4 colorways right off the bat. The retail price is $150 US, so they aren't particularly cheap either, pretty much in the same price range as something like an Elastico Superfly. But with that being said, the quality is definitely there, the comfort is there, and of course you do get their latest and greatest Flyknit technology in the upper itself. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a complete overview of this shoe, talking tech specs, and basically just telling you everything you could possibly want to know if you're interested in a pair for yourself. Speaking of being interested in a pair, if you would like to pick these up, check out the first link down below in the description, and it'll take you to the review page on my website, and on that page you will find buy it now links for all of the currently available colorways of the Flyknit Lunar 3 if you are at all interested. So again, first link down below in the description, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. So what makes these shoes so special, especially to warrant the $150 price tag? The main reason why I think anybody would buy these, it's the main reason why I picked them up, is definitely the Flyknit upper. It's something that has become very, very popular over the last couple of years, more recently in the soccer market, but they've been making Flyknit running shoes for quite some time now, and every single model just gets better and better. These really do look the part, which is definitely nice because you can wear this as an everyday casual shoe if you wanted to. They're very comfortable, they look really good, but they also perform the part as well. So as trainers, they are very, very capable. Now the Flyknit material, unlike the soccer shoes, does not have a top layer protecting it. It's not designed for touch or kicking the ball or anything like that. It's simply there to provide that sock-like comfort and a nice locked-in feel in all the right areas. So you're going to find that the toe box and forefoot area is definitely more dense, it's more structured. There's really not much ventilation to this new kind of Flyknit form factor that they've incorporated here. You can see I have a couple different colors of knitted material, but for the most part it's just dense but soft and flexible. It just feels really, really good. You are also going to find flywire technology incorporated into the upper that obviously holds the laces in place, so you're going to get that nice locked in feel mainly through the midfoot area of the shoe. When you do pull the laces tight, you're going to find that only part of the shoe has a separate tongue. So from here up, the tongue is completely separate, whereas from here down, it's kind of just like an internal sock-like enclosure, which I think is really, really good, and it feels pretty good on your feet. You can find that through the midfoot. There is some more open ventilation here, and the midfoot area overall just has slightly more rigid and structured Flyknit material. It's a little bit stiffer, whereas this is a lot more soft, flexible, and does have a slight amount of stretch to it. You can see it's pretty much mirrored on both sides, and it just feels really, really nice. The tongue is also made from Flyknit, and then of course the heel area does have the Flyknit exterior, but really doesn't mean much because you do have an internal heel counter there, more like a traditional running shoe. So this kind of combines the construction of a traditional runner with, of course, the sock-like fit and feel of the Flyknit upper, which is why I really like these and just find them so comfortable. Obviously it's a low-cut running shoe. You have a ton of padding in the heel area with a nice soft mesh lining material. You are going to find that the insole is fully removable. It features a mesh liner on top, and it's just a pretty thin layer of ortholite material, but does provide some really good step-in comfort. And then moving on to the outsole, you're going to find their Lunar Lawn cushioning system, which is actually going to be the black foam. So the black top layer of the actual sole itself is that soft Lunar Lawn foam. It's very responsive, it's spongy. We obviously see it in the Lunar Gato 2 line from Nike, or the Lunar Gato line in general. Lunar obviously standing for Lunar Lawn. And it's a foam that will take some break-in time, I will say that. So they're not going to feel perfect from right out of the box, but once you get some wear time in them, it softens up and just provides a nice soft yet responsive cushioning sensation. Now the underside, the part that is kind of in this ice blue with the speckling color, is a slightly firmer Phylon foam. So this acts as a carrier for the actual Lunar Lawn itself, which kind of sits in the middle of all of this. So it's not just the top layer, it goes all the way through the bottom here. You can see some of it exposed. So this carrier is there just to ensure that you're going to get that soft kind of cushioned responsive sensation, but it's not going to feel mushy. You have this carrier around just to kind of stabilize the shoe overall, so it's not going to feel like you're kind of just walking on this mushy foam or running on this mushy foam material. So it really does feel good. It's the exact same outsole that was featured on the Flyknit Lunar 2, which I was personally a huge fan of. It's not overly cushioned, but it's not overly low profile either. It's kind of right there in the middle. I know I like to kind of recommend low profile trainers for soccer specific training just because it's more like running in a pair of soccer shoes. But if you want something that's not necessarily over cushioned, but not necessarily overly low profile either, it has some kind of cushioning under your foot, this is definitely one of those cushioning setups that I would recommend that, like I said, is featured on the Flyknit Lunar 3. On the bottom of the shoe, it is there's a lot of exposed foam, but you definitely do have a fair amount of rubber as well. You have the rubber in the heel. You can see you have these 4 black kind of inserts right there on the surface in kind of the high wear zones. And then pretty much the entire forefoot is rubber. You have these 2 rings. One's a lighter blue, one's a slightly darker blue, and then you have the darkest blue right there in the middle. All of that is rubber, and you can see it's set up where you have kind of these flex grooves. So they are relatively flexible given the actual thickness of the sole itself. And then you have one more piece of rubber right here at the tip of the toe, nothing along the sides, and then of course all of this exposed ice blue is actually just exposed foam as well. So as far as traction is concerned, if you're just running in a straight line, jogging, even sprinting, you're not going to have any issues at all. It's just when you are making those hard lateral cuts and stuff like that, you may run into some very slight traction issues. At the end of the day, that's not what this shoe is designed for. It's a straight up runner and not necessarily a training model for doing suicides and stuff like that. I think the upper is capable and supportive enough of kind of keeping your foot locked in place and just providing a nice kind of responsive sensation overall. But just keep in mind, if you are planning on picking these up, this is designed more as a straight up runner as opposed to a cross trainer type of shoe. But that's pretty much it as far as tech specs and what you should know regarding the performance of this shoe. Again, it's a lot like the Flyknit Lunar 2 in terms of the outsole itself, whereas the actual upper has been redesigned. It's not completely different. It feels quite similar on feet, but I will say that I think it looks a little bit better, and it actually does feel really, really nice. If you're looking for that sock-like level of comfort from Flyknit, and of course the cushioning setup that you get from the Lunar Lawn sole, this shoe definitely does deliver in terms of performance when running. Whenever I make these running shoe videos, there always seems to be a lot of requests for me to actually weigh the shoes, which is what I'm going to do for you today with the Flyknit Lunar 3 using this scale in real time. Now keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 10 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.4 ounces, which is actually surprisingly light. If you change the units to grams, that's 239 grams, which I think just makes this shoe that much more viable as a soccer specific pair of trainers. They are at 8.4 ounces, which is a weight that is equivalent to most soccer shoes out there. Obviously, if you're wearing something like the Superfly or the Vapor 10 or the F50 Addy Zero, they're going to be a touch lighter than this, but as off the field trainers at 8.4 ounces, considering the amount of underfoot cushioning and just overall comfort that this shoe provides, you really can't ask for too much more. So if you were worried about these being heavy, don't be. They aren't heavy at all. Alright, so here's a look at the Flyknit Lunar 3s on feet. Before we get into how the shoes fit and feel, there's a couple of frequently asked questions that I thought I would answer. The first is in regards to SR4U laces. On my left foot I have the regular laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot I have a pair of white reflective SR4U replacement laces. I get a lot of you guys asking whether or not you can use them on shoes other than soccer cleats, and the answer to that question is yes. You can see I have them in these running shoes. They work just fine. They'll actually work in any shoes. So if you are interested in picking up a pair of replacement laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It is linked in the description of this video. Another question that I get is whether or not you can wear true socks with shoes other than soccer cleats. And again, the answer to that question is yes. You can see that I'm wearing them here with my Flyknit Lunar 3s, and they basically do the exact same thing that they would do in a pair of soccer cleats. They just make your shoes feel more responsive, they grip the inside, and just prevent any kind of extra slippage that you would otherwise have with a normal pair of socks. So just keep that in mind in regards to those two particular questions. As far as how these things fit and feel on feet, they are very, very comfortable. The underfoot cushioning that you get from the Lunar sole is really good and gets better after some break-in time. Trust me on that. And as far as the overall fit is concerned, it does have that Flyknit upper, which, like I mentioned, is more structured in the midfoot, especially with the fly wire itself. So when you do pull the laces tight, it just locks your midfoot in place really nicely, whereas the forefoot has a kind of wider, more open feel to it. It's soft, it's flexible, and just feels very, very comfortable. There's no rubbing or any kind of real discomfort in this shoe whatsoever. It has a nice seamless sensation on your foot, which is kind of what you want from a pair of runners. As far as width goes, they're going to be suitable for just about everybody. Even if you do have wide feet, you shouldn't have any issues with how these feel whatsoever. And as far as sizing is concerned, they run about a half size small. Normally I wear a 9.5 in most running shoes. With these I bumped it up to a 10, and the fit is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I'd recommend either going for the same size that you currently wear in a Nike pair of running shoes that you perhaps own, or just go a half size up from your normal shoes, and they should fit you just fine. Again, I normally wear a 9.5. These are a 10, and the fit is absolutely perfect. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Flyknit Lunar 3 runners. I'm a really big fan of these shoes for a couple of different reasons. Visually, I think the shoe just looks really, really good. You can wear it for training and look good, and you can even wear it casually and really have no issues whatsoever. As far as performance is concerned, I'm a huge fan of Flyknit from Nike. If you're currently wearing something like the Superfly 4 or the Magista Obra, you really like how those feel. You'll really like how these feel as well. It has that sock-like level of comfort and just a nice lockdown, secure fit when these things are on your foot. So if you're looking for something that is going to be similar as far as upper materials to what you find on some of Nike soccer shoes, this running model should feel fantastic on your feet. And then of course, I love the Lunar cushioning system and just overall setup that this shoe has in regards to actually running. Big fan of the Flyknit Lunar 2, so I expect to really enjoy the Lunar 3 as well. They feel great on feet, and I just have no complaints whatsoever. So if you're looking for a great pair of runners, I can strongly recommend the Flyknit Lunar 3 to you guys. If you're interested in picking up a pair for yourself, again, check out the review page on my website. It's the first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, I will have buy it now links to all of the currently available colorways. So again, go ahead and check it out if you're interested in a pair for yourself. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe or any suggestions whatsoever, leave your questions and suggestions down below in the comment section. I'll answer what you guys have to ask. And of course, take a look at everything you guys have to say. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.